Hello, everyone. I just wanted to jump in here and make a quick little video and add it to the content of this little holiday book that you now have in your hands. And also, I just wanted to share with you this is one of the reasons why I chose to make this a digital book, because I can keep adding content in here all of the time because you have a link that is good now forever. So you have the ability to open this and to look at the recipes anytime you want. And also, I'm going to be adding some extra bonus content and even some secret information over time. So click on that link every once in a while. And even if you've signed up on the email newsletter, it will tell you that I've added some extra content. So to come in here and to take a little peek. However, today I just wanted to share something really funny with you about the cardamom cookies that you now have the recipe for. When I was making these cookies this morning, there was a couple of little funny things that happened. But first off, what I realized was that when I was making these cookies, that it gave me flashbacks of when I used to put the cookies by the fireplace for Santa with the kids. It was the last little thing we let them do before they went to bed every single night. And they each got to put a cookie on the plate and set it down. And it would create a sense of excitement for the kids. And it was kind of hard to get them to actually fall asleep because all kids are, super excited that they know Santa is coming in the morning. However, that was the memory that it triggered for me. But as I was stirring up these cookies, it was kind of funny what happened because in the original recipe, it actually just called for a little bit of baking soda. And I was throwing the ingredients into the big dry bowl and mixing it up. And then I realized I was like, oh, it said baking soda. And I had the flashback of this box. And I realized I didn't put baking soda in. I actually put in baking powder. And at first I was like, oh, darn it. I think I'm going to have to throw it out. And then I thought to myself, maybe not. Maybe I'll just wait to see what happens. And so I added the baking soda as well. So both ingredients were included in the recipe that I was making. And I thought to myself, I can't remember what the difference is between what baking soda does and what baking powder does to food in baking recipes. So I put the first batch in the oven and I thought, okay, I've got a few minutes here. I'm going to give my mom a call. And thank goodness for me, my mom is still alive. And one of the reasons why I love cooking and baking is because as a child, I used to always watch my mom. And that's how I intuitively learned how to cook and to bake because I could always watch her. And this is still something that we both have a passion for in sharing recipes. But I thought, I bet you my mom would still know what the difference was. So I got on the phone, I gave her a quick call and I told her what happened. And I said, but what's the difference, Mom? And she goes, you know what? I actually can't remember. She goes, you can Google it or you can go into your old recipe books because in those days, when she was growing up and as a young mom, everything was still in a book format. And so she said there was always a section in there that talked about the difference between baking soda and baking powder. So I said, okay, Mom, I'll do that and I'll check on it. So as we were talking, my first batch of cookies were actually ready. And I said, I have to give a taste test. And they looked perfect, like they came out nice and flat and round. And I said to my mom, let me see what the texture is like. So I snapped it and I said, oh my goodness, they look perfect. And I said, I can still smell the cardamom. And I'm someone who loves the scent of cardamom. And it's one of the reasons why I chose to put it in this recipe book is because it is so aromatic and the emotional healing properties of cardamom. And so I chewed on it. I said to Mom, these taste absolutely delicious. I am going to keep the recipe with a little bit of baking soda and a little bit of baking powder. So I said to her, it turned out to be a little bit of a blessing, and whatever the texture that it was supposed to be, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it as this. So this is another example of how sometimes we make a mistake in life, but it turns out to be to our own benefit. So I just love it when stuff like that happens, because I've had lots of things happen when I've been cooking and baking, and sometimes I make a mistake and sometimes something is a flop. But this time it turned out. So I decided to keep it in here for all of you. So again, I hope you enjoy these little cookies. If you've never made cardamom cookies before, they have a lovely scent. A lot of Finnish people use cardamom in their baking and in their breads, and it has a fantastic taste to it. So I hope you make them and taste the flavor and the crispiness of these delicious little cardamom cookies. So thanks for listening. And remember to keep taking a peek at this link for this book for the extra content that I'm putting inside of here for all of you. Thanks for listening. Cheers for now.